Hi, everybody. It's Harvard lawyer Lee. Wow, what a day. Finally, we have a verdict in the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case. And it was a doozy. It was so unexpected, so crazy. Let's unpack it and talk about what exactly the jury said in the case. If you were here with us on the channel watching at 3 o'clock, the suspense was unbelievable. Everyone, people worldwide were nervous. What will the jury do? What will happen? The jury files in, the moment has come, and instead of reading the verdict or having the jury foreman or clerk do it, instead, the judge called the attorneys up for a conference. What? What was that about? So everyone sits there and waits a little bit longer. Break. The judge says to the jury, on compensatory damages, you have to put a number in. It has to be a number, at least one. You need to go back out. What? What? That means somebody was found liable for defamation. But who? Was it Johnny Depp? Was it Amber Heard? As it turns out, it's both. So the jury files back out. They come back in. And this time, the verdict is complete. And the judge has the verdict read to the court. Wow, what a surprise. It was really a big surprise. So the verdict, it starts with Johnny Depp's allegations, and he had 3 allegations of defamation. And the jury found all 3 in favor of Johnny Depp. All 3, Amber Heard liable. Johnny Depp wasn't present in court, but Amber Heard was, so she heard this whole thing read. And they read in meticulous detail each and every one of the things the judge had asked the jury to find. The judge broke it down into little bitty individual pieces, I believe, because she wanted to make sure the jury carefully followed the law and she didn't want any room for appeal to the extent she can stop it from happening. So the first allegation was, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. That was a statement Amber Heard made in the Washington Post online edition in 2018. And the jury had to answer a number of questions. Yes. Was it made or published by Miss Heard? Was it about Mr. Depp? That was actually a question because nowhere in the article did it mention Johnny Depp. It did say that 2 years ago she had been a victim of and named the domestic abuse and the SV allegations, but it was not something where she actually used his name. So that was a question the jury truly had to figure out and find. Then the next question, probably the most important of all, the statement was false. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp, not about someone else, and was designed and intended by Miss Heard. That's number 5. And number 6 was, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Obviously, it conveyed a defamatory implication for him. That's why he sued. So they had to answer yes to every one of those questions. And then they had to answer that yes, they found that Mr. Depp had proven his point with clear and convincing evidence, that Amber Heard acted not just with intention, but with actual malice, a very high standard used for people who are public figures in defamation. It's more difficult to prove defamation against a public figure than against somebody who is just a regular citizen. And so it was a very high standard he had to meet. There were those same questions and that same standard under each of the other 2 allegations. The second one being, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Now, the jury answered yes to all of the ones under number 1 and yes to all of the ones under the second statement. Both of those the jury found were defamation by Amber Heard against Johnny Depp. The third question was a statement by Amber Heard in the op-ed. I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. That third statement, they also found every single one of the questions answered. All of them. Yes, Standard, also, yes, clear and convincing evidence, actual malice, yes. So because they made all of those findings, the jury then had to go to the next two questions, which were about damages. And the jury said they found compensatory damages for Johnny Depp of $10 million and punitive damages for Johnny Depp of $5 million for a total of $15 million. Immediately, though, the judge reduced the $5 million to $350,000 under Virginia law, which caps punitive damages. That meant Johnny Depp's total was $10,350,000. Now, the jury did not know, or at least were not told, about the cap of $350,000. They were just asked, what amount do you think is appropriate? But under Virginia law, that doesn't really matter because of the cap. So then the jury turned to Miss Heard's claim, Amber Heard's claim against Johnny Depp. At that point, I think probably many people figured they had gone all the way Johnny Depp, but that isn't quite the case. Now, for her first statement, this was a statement made not by Johnny Depp, but by his attorney, Alan Waldman, in the April 8th, 2020 edition of the Daily Mail. And the statement from Alan Waldman was, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake SV allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her SV hoax facts as a sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. In this case, the jury had to answer, do you believe Mr. Waldman was acting as an agent for Johnny Depp, since Johnny Depp didn't say these things himself, and do you believe he made or published a statement? Do you believe the statement was about Miss Heard? Do you believe the statement was seen by someone other than Miss Heard? And do you believe it was false? The jury answered every one of those questions, no. They did not believe this was defamation. In other words, they did believe that it was, they believed something of those statements was incorrect. Since they otherwise found that Waldman acted as the agent for Johnny Depp, they almost certainly found that they believed what he said was true, that they had used fake SV allegations. So that is most likely what they meant. So no to all of those, and therefore, the standard did not need to be met because it was a no. The second allegation, though, of defamation, the jury found that Amber Heard had proven Waldman, Johnny Depp's attorney, had in fact defamed her. Here's what that second allegation was. Quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911. Now for this, the jury answered all the questions yes, and was it made by did they prove their point by clear and convincing evidence? Did Mr. Waldman act with actual malice? Yes. That claim they found meant Johnny Depp was liable for defamation against Amber Heard. We'll talk about what that meant in just a minute. And then the third statement was, we have reached the beginning of the end of Miss Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp. Jury answered all of these questions no. So they most likely did not find that statement to be false. They believed it was true, what he had said. Then they had to reach the same question about damages. But in this case, the jury found $2 million for compensatory damages, and they found $0 for punitive damages, unlike the $10 million and the $5 million for Johnny Depp. Now, if you offset those two, what that means is that Amber Heard now owes Johnny Depp $8,350,000. That verdict is extremely large, obviously. She probably does not have the funds to pay it, but Johnny Depp said from the beginning what he wanted was not the funds, but his reputation back, his chance to be heard and for the truth to be known. And that, without question, he got today. So let's talk for just a minute. Why did the jury decide that claim number 2 was valid? There was defamation there, but reject 1 and 3. Well, I think the answer is that Johnny Depp's team never brought any evidence about number two. The issue was whether or not Amber Heard and her friends had spilled a little wine, roughed the place up, gotten their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist. That's pretty specific, and then placed a second call to 911. I have seen some things on the internet about Rocky Pennington having made the second 911 call, and some indications